Welcome to the beginner's server-side programming presentation. My name is Vince, and today we're going to answer some of the basic questions about server-sided programming, such as what is server-side programming? How does it differ from client-side programming? And why is it so useful? Then we will take sample scripting with PHP as a server-side programming language. After this presentation, I hope you will gain understanding on this additional power available to building dynamic websites. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge Mozilla Developer Network and W3 Schools as the main sources of materials for this presentation. The contents of this presentation is generally from MDN. Alright, let's begin. What is server-side programming? According to C#corner.com, it is the general name for the kind of program that runs directly on the server. Or we can say that server-side programming must deal with dynamic content. It runs on the server. And most web pages are not static since they deal with searching database. Are server-side and client-side programming the same? Let's begin with the understanding what client-side code is. It is the general name given to the code running on the client's device or the browser. It governs the behavior and appearance of the web page and is used to make interactive web pages, send requests to the server and retrieve data from it, as well as make stuff happen dynamically on the web page. It is written using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. On the other hand, the server-side programming is the name given to all types of programs which run on web server. They process the user input, interact with the databases, and control what content is served back to the client as a response to his request. It is written in a number of programming languages including PHP, Node.js, Python, and others, and has full access to the server's operating system, and the programmer can choose the language he or she wants to code in. And why is it important? Server-side programming is extremely useful as it helps to efficiently deliver user-customized content and thus enhance the user experience. It can also be used to refine responses based on users' data. Now let's take a look at PHP as server-side programming. What is PHP? PHP is a widely used open source scripting language and is executed on the server. And what's good for PHP is that it is free to download and use. A PHP file contains text, HTML code, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP code. The file or code is executed on the server and the result is returned to the browser as plain HTML. PHP files have extension .php. Okay, let's try it out. First thing is we need a web server and PHP installed in our computer. So for me, I decided to use the XAMPP framework, which is the cross-platform, Apache, MySQL, PHP, and Perl. So all of these tools are included in the XAMPP framework. So let's start our Apache web server. And take note that we are on port 80. And this will be run on the local host. Next is we open our VS Code. Let's close this one. Save. And then let's open a create a folder inside our web directory. The web directory for the SAMP uh, is inside the ht docs folder. So we can add here a folder, new folder. Let's call it practice and select folder. Now we have our folder here. Let's close this one. And then let's add a new file. Now we usually create HTML file like this, HTML index.html. Then we have our HTML basic template. And let's try to change this title for our page. Say PHP practice. Then let's add a paragraph. Say hello world. Then to run this file via our server, which we started earlier, we can use the localhost, not from the live server. Let's say localhost, and then our project is in the practice folder, and the file is index.html. And sure enough, we have our hello world in here. And then let's check the source of our code. Sure enough, we have here the paragraph, just like what we have coded. So this is called the hard code scripting, or the client side scripting programming. Now we will inject some PHP code. For our PHP, we need to change this one, to rename this one. Instead that HTML, we will change that to .php, so we can inject some PHP code. Then as you can see, it changes from HTML to PHP. Now the syntax for PHP, or the script for PHP, should start and end with PHP tags. So the beginning tag is PHP, and then the ending tag is PHP. So everything inside this PHP tag will be considered as PHP script. You can also create a separate file for your PHP script and inject that to your HTML document. Now let's try to change this one, to add some PHP code. Let's say inside our paragraph, we can add, or we can delete one and then just type in here echo. Echo means print. Just echo hello world. Say the quotation, and then semicolon. And then let's save this one and try this one on our server. Okay, so let's try our .php file. So instead of that our index.html, we type in .php, since we rename our file to .php. And sure enough, we have the hello world. And then let's see inside or at the back of our page the source, and you will notice in here that the script tag did not uh, show, instead only the string that we echo in here. See, and then so that's the basic of PHP, and we can try some variables here. Say, let's try this one. So for PHP variables, okay. So in PHP, a variable starts with a dollar sign. Oops, a dollar sign. Then our variable name. Let's try this one, text. Then the value, tiny value. Hello world. Then end the statement with the semicolon. And then let's echo our variable here, txt, and then save, and let's try it on our server. Refresh. Sure enough, we still have the hello world. And let's see the page source, and we have the hello world in here. Okay, so the PHP code here are not shown in the HTML or the web page. Only the echo value will be displayed. So let's try another values here. Let's make it quick. We have only 3 minutes in our free pneumatic here. So let's have num1 equals 5 and num2 equals 6, and then let's echo this one with echo num1 plus num2, and then save and run on our server. And sure enough, we have hello world 11, and let's check the source, and then we have hello world 11. So that's it for our lesson for today for the beginners server-side programming. If you want to check more on PHP and other server-side programming languages, you can check the internet. You can Google and try to find materials and tutorials that can help you with learning the server-side programming. So that's it. So we have learned today the server-side code is run on a web server, and the main role is to control what information is sent to the user. And we also have understood the difference between the server-side and client-side programming. And lastly, we have written sample server-side programming using PHP. So that's it for today, and thank you for watching, and special thanks to Mozilla Development Network for the contents. Thank you.